Hey guys, welcome to the video. I'm basically going to be taking you through my design process. I've been trying to incorporate more graphic design videos into my channel since that is my major and my main hobby. So I'm currently in color theory and we just got our final project a few days ago. We are supposed to take some sort of artist or artistic inspiration and incorporate it into like a totally different medium. And since the class is color theory, like the main emphasis is on the color palette. I decided that I want to create some sort of packaging design, most likely for some sort of tea, like an iced tea or juice, something in like a glass bottle. So I pretty much did most of the research phase for this project already because we had a day last week that we went to the library and got to like look around at books and stuff. So I'll kind of explain the research that I did before we get on to the rest of the video. The first thing that came to my mind when I first got the project brief was these really cool posters that I saw one time when I was doing research for another design project. This set of posters from The Sun, which is a really old New York newspaper thing from the 1890s, and they have like really cool color palettes. So I basically just spent like an hour or so reading this book in the library, and I wrote down a lot of notes, and it kind of helped me to like finalize my idea. At the beginning, I'm kind of like stressed because I don't completely know what I'm doing, so then I just tend to put it off. But for my color theory class, we had to create a timeline. So I made this little timeline with what I'm gonna do each day. And I'm gonna do 3 different flavors, and each flavor is inspired by a different poster with a different color scheme, but all like the same brand. So after figuring all that out yesterday, I started to brainstorm the name of the company, which is what I usually try to do first, so that then I can like create the brand around the name. And I knew that I wanted to do something with the word sun in it since I'm taking inspiration from the Sun magazine poster. So I decided on the name Sunbird because I think it just sounds cool. And I looked it up, and apparently a sunbird is an actual bird, and they're kind of in the same color scheme as like what I'm going for. So it's kind of weird how that worked out. So now that I've given you an overview of my project, I'm starting on the next step, which is where I make a mood board on Behance. I kind of like to find some similar things to what I'm trying to design and put it together to just get a little bit more inspiration before I start designing. I also started looking for some fonts on Adobe Fonts, and I was kind of playing around with stuff in Illustrator. I kind of got a little bit too ahead of myself. I was basically just playing around with a bunch of different fonts and just trying to get started on the designing phase of this. So today is Friday. Yesterday, my main thing that I was working on was just like coming up with ideas for the logo. I did some thumbnails, but not a lot because I was just having like a lot of trouble coming up with ideas yesterday for some reason, and I was just kind of playing around inside of Illustrator, and I did a lot of things, but like I just didn't really like anything that I did. Today I decided to go back to doing some more thumbnails because I kind of needed to just like start from scratch and come up with something different. So I just worked on thumbnails for about 30 minutes, and I think I finally came up with something. So we're gonna go into Illustrator now and start trying to design that. I ended up finding this font called Dazzle Unicase that I thought was perfect, and I designed what I thought was the final logo. Once I finished that, I moved on to packaging sketches, where I basically just started coming up with some ideas for the different labels that I had to design for this, like the little stickers that would go on the cap of the bottle, and then I designed some little side labels that would go off the cap, like little stickers, and then I also sketched out some ideas for the wrap packaging that goes around it. And these were the mock-ups that I found that I'm gonna use for this design. As you can see, they're in the glass bottle, which was what I was going for from the beginning. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Next, I took the sketches that I had and kind of turned them into actual designs inside of Illustrator. I made this little citrus shape that became kind of the icon for the brand. And I started putting the logo onto the different packaging ideas I had, but I just did not like how it was turning out. So at this point in the design, I was getting like so frustrated because I felt like I could not come up with a good logo to save my life. Like the one that I just showed you that I thought was my final one, it was fine, but like something about it I just didn't like. So I kind of changed it up, staying with the basic theme of the D being the little lemon slice. I basically just made the letters thicker and turned the corners into curves. I just think it looks so good. So then with this new logo, I kind of made this little pattern thing and duplicated them to turn into different color schemes. And I played around with the 3 color schemes that I eyedropped from the poster. Now that I had a logo that I was 100% sure I liked, I started designing the packaging for real this time. I made sure that all the sizing fit the mock-ups that I was putting it on. I also created a little nutrition facts label to go on the back to make my design look as realistic as possible. And as you can see here, I'm just finalizing all the little pieces and making sure everything's measured out correctly before I do the mock-ups. So it is Saturday, my project is due on Tuesday, so I have a few days left. I kind of saved these last few days to do like the mock-ups and the like getting the presentation together and all that. So I'm pretty much done with like the designing part of this, thank goodness, because it was a very difficult and long process. Basically what I have right now is I have all the cap designs done, and then I have some variations of the side stickers that I think I just need to like choose which one I want to do for those. I have one of the wrap packaging designs done, but they're all pretty much going to be the same. I just have to change the colors for the other 2 flavors and just like change the name of the flavor. So that'll just take a few minutes, but before I do that, I want to do the first mock-up to make sure that everything fits right, so that I don't have to like go back and readjust everything. I can just get one of them perfect and then copy that onto the other 2 basically. So we're gonna do the mock-ups right now and see how they turn out. I'm so excited. It's like the final reveal pretty much. So the mock-ups that I downloaded, I paid $10 for them. They're from Pixpine Mockups. They had smart objects where I could basically just place in the little pieces that I designed and it applies it to the mock-up, and it was just so cool to see how they turned out like as I put them in. I was also able to change the backgrounds, and I just made a ton of different versions with different things to play around with. So at this point I'd finished the mock-ups and I was super happy with how they turned out. Like I wish I had filmed a video of me reacting like while I placed the pictures in, because it was just so exciting. So after that I was basically finished with my project and I just had to make a little presentation for my final presentation in class. But I thought for this video I'd make a little like video presentation of just a short little almost advertisement of all the mock-ups so that you can see what it looks like. So here we go. So that is about it for my design process for this project. I think it turned out so good. It's definitely my favorite project that I've ever done, and I hope that you like it too. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, comment down below which flavor out of the 3 is your favorite and which one you would buy. I really wish that this was a real brand, because literally the entire time I was making this project I was like craving lemonade. I literally had so much lemonade within that span of 2 weeks. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Friday with a brand new video. Bye guys.